First thing you have to do is to set the rules and expectations up front as early as possible. So enforcing these expectations is the tricky part, and there's many ways to do it. One of the ways, obviously, for younger students is when they're involved in an activity is to penalize them on points, take a point away, because that's like an earth-shattering event for young students like elementary. So for example, the cap, up thing I mentioned before. Sometimes I'll say, first, write your answer, then cap, up, no cap, -2 points, and the students are like, oh my God, it's like devastation overcomes the whole entire class. You can also use like candy or stamps if you have like a reward-based thing, or if you're tracking how well students follow directions in class and things of that nature. It's going to reinforce their ability to follow directions and to do it in every class because there's a reward for it. One of the most important skills, I think, for any teacher is the ability to bring their class back into order instantly, or at least very quickly. The last thing you want to do is to yell or to try and out-volume students, because especially if you're teaching ASL in another country, their English is limited, and it's going to be kind of like if you had Charlie Brown's teachers and they were just ratcheting up the volume. It's not really going to mean anything to you. The way I do this predominantly is through physical movements on the part of the student that kind of snaps them out of their moment and brings them back into the class and into a place where they're quiet and at attention again. And I use basically 3 different movements. The first one is clapping. So I'll say something like, if you can hear me, clap 2 times. Pop, pop. And if there's still some stragglers, I'll say it again. But when I say it again, I say it a little quieter so that I know that they're kind of keying in on me. And I'll say, if you can hear me, clap 3 times. Clap, clap, clap. And I'll do that until everybody is dead silent. Second thing I do is I'll say, if you're finished, put your hands on your head. And why do I do this? Because students are like broken records, and they'll just over and over, teacher finished, teacher finished, teacher finished. So I say, if you're finished, just put your hands on your head. And the third thing I do is I say, if you're quiet, put your hand over your mouth. Now these 3 things, they really get the students' attention, brings them back into order, and we're ready to rock and roll going forward. Some teachers are really good with nonverbal commands, especially just hand movements, like holding up your hand and counting down. This is something that I used to do when I was at a girls' middle school, and it was effective because we would track the games and their activities with stamps, and those stamps at the end of the semester would actually add up to a few extra points on their final grade. So it could mean the difference between an A or a B plus, or even pass and fail. So when they saw the hand go up, they knew that that held some weight, and so the class would kind of regulate itself. The ones that wanted the points at the end of the semester would tell the others to be quiet. Sometimes all the techniques in the world just aren't going to get those few students to get back in order. You give them a look, you say something to them, you show them the hand signals and whatnot, and they're just not catching your drift.